It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And Brooklyn is where we'll be going just moments from now, as the Nets will be going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota's been playing with a lot of focus. This is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. Guys, it might have taken some time for him to adjust to the NBA, but D'Angelo Russell becoming a force in the league. What do you think finally clicked for him, Shaq?
Well, one, he's getting the ball, and two, he was given more freedom and control on offense, and he's making more measured decisions on offense. He's not as sporadic as he used to be.
Learning how to say no. You know, being a point guard, you got to say no to some of the best players in the world. I can't get you the ball right now. And he's getting comfortable creating for others.
Thank you for joining us. We go courtside now. Kevin Harlan has the call.
But traffic in New York City making its way back and forth between Manhattan and the borough of Brooklyn. Our setting tonight. It's a West versus East contest here in Brooklyn as the Nets play one at home. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and we'll have David Aldridge filling us in from the sideline. The Timberwolves looking for a strong start to this road trip. Looking at the first half of the season, it's been one they've been very proud of. They have a lot of confidence so far.
Yeah, and they look like a squad that's enjoying playing together. I love what I'm seeing from them in terms of that chemistry these past few days, and playing well and winning games will do that for you.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team. And it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table for all of us. Kevin, this is always a problem for you, but we're going to let you eat first.
All right, D.A., not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. Well, Clark, tonight a rarity. Both these teams love to run their offense through the block, through the big men. Why is that a dying trend in the NBA?
Well, I think the three-point shot has dictated that more teams are going to utilize that. Then analytics have come into play. The three-point shot is more valuable than the easy two in many cases. So teams are really tilting their offenses towards spacing the floor, shooting the three-point shot more than pounding the ball inside. And the pace of the game now lends itself to more three-point shooting and perimeter shooting than posting up.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. Gibson is the four with Towns in the middle. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Wiggins in at the three. Nets on defense. Last game matched up with the Magic. A tough loss there.
Well, listen, I've seen worse performances offensively, but no doubt that group was inconsistent.
For sure. Agree with you there. They just didn't have it. Seemed like they were a step behind and out of sync.
And still varying opinions out there of what Andrew Wiggins can and can't do. But one thing that's indisputable, he's an incredible scorer. Whether half-court transition, he can flat out fill it up in a hurry.
And the first one at the line is good. And Wiggins, his young career, just getting better and better at scoring, Greg, while increasing his workload.
Yeah, and very few scorers can do that, especially from that two-guard spot. Wiggins has that special talent where he can flat out carry an offense. Scary to think that this is a kid who is just scratching the surface.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
Here is Russell following the basket by Andrew Wiggins. Russell kicks to Okafor. Back to Russell. Pick by Okafor. Russell dishes to Okafor. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
That strength of Okafor is on full display. When you foul him, you really have to hit him, or he can still get the hoop and the foul.
One shot.
That one misses for Okafor. And Jahlil Okafor, the 3rd overall pick in 2015 out of Duke. He was in the conversation for top pick overall.
Yeah, he certainly was, and deservedly so. Now, his value has fallen off a bit since coming into the league, but with big guys, you got to be patient. Don't discard him yet. He's a very polished scorer and a good finisher around the goal. He's got to improve some other areas, but this guy's going to be around for a long time.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
Lynn kicks to Okafor. Screened by Russell. Okafor, the pass to Crabbe, and it's Russell in the corner. Off target from outside. The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Here's Wiggins.
Oh! Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, ooh, wow. Spectacular move. Wiggins' elevation, body control, strength, elite across the board.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. Now here's Lynn. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against Orlando. And it's Okafor missing.
I think they got to get it going. A 1-for-5 start, not what they wanted.
Team. Towns dishes to Gibson over Okafor. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
And the rejection by Towns.
A tremendous shot blocker in college, Kevin. Towns has packed that part of his game and brought it with him to the next level.
The feed to Crabbe. Out to the right wing. Pass to Okafor. Okafor with the screen on Wiggins. And stolen by Wiggins. Outside Teague. Pass to Towns. Back to Teague. Down low. And it's Butler missing.
Boy, that's a devastating miss there. You got to convert on these easy layups deep inside.
And again, it's the Nets missing. And here are the Timberwolves. A big stretch here going 10-2. Wiggins drives in.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
Yeah, and the execution, time and time again, right on point. They're running their offense to perfection.
Here's Lynn. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. And Clark, one thing you have to love about Towns is just how self-aware and humble he is. He's always looking to hone his game, and even when he puts up a big night, he can look at the tape and find something that he's got to improve on.
Yeah, that's admirable. His humility and his selflessness. being aware of what's going on, where he needs to get better, and that's part of why I think he's a leader on this team. He'll own his mistakes, and he also is owning his personal development and improvement. So the future's bright for this guy.
Minnesota leading by 7. Towns, a screen on Lynn. Here's Butler. It doesn't go either for Butler. Brooklyn's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Russell against T. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. And for D'Angelo Russell, the offensive talent is obvious, but it seems his defense, Clark, has a ways to go.
Well, he's got the package now. He's got good size. He's not a great athlete. He's a good athlete, but not an explosive, powerful athlete. I think he's got to get stronger. And the other piece is he's got to really be about the mental aspect, the focus, and the consistent effort day in and day out to maximize his physical gifts.
And he knocks down the first one.
And, you know, a lot of people are starting to wonder, is Russell going to be the future of this league? Time will tell. That's a big mountain to climb for the young fella from Louisville.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. You know, having depth is such a big deal for these teams, Clark. As you get deep into the season, we see how these injuries begin to pile up.
Yeah, and they can hurt you. And you know they're going to happen. You've got to be lucky. A lot of it depends on your preparation and your preventative training, and that's not only on the training staff, but it's also on the players to take care of their bodies, get their rest, and do the things they need to do to try to be ready to play every game.
Yeah, this looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowing.
Towns, a screen on Lynn. Teague with the ball, and it's Lynn picking him up. Teague kicks to Towns. And Wiggins gets it to go on the assist by Towns. Towns has got 3 assists in the game. Nets trail by 4. Here's Crabb. 17 points for him last game against Orlando.
And not just the scoring. It was also how fierce he was on defense, grabbing 3 steals on the night as well.
And the awareness from Lynn, outstanding. A true point guard who really sees the floor well.
Looking at Minnesota, they took the win in their last game against Los Angeles.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
Yeah, you know what? The waters were calm for most of the game. I mean, little resistance, felt like they could get any look they wanted at any time. Just cannot find the rhythm. Still yet to hit a shot this quarter.
To the wing right side. 5 on the clock. Brooklyn needs to get off a shot here. Here's the 3. Rebound Minnesota. This game against Brooklyn here, it's their first look at the Nets.
Yeah, faced off twice last season, and it was a split between the 2 teams.
Well, you know, both of these teams know and understand when they face off, it's a very winnable game for either one of them.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Now here's Okafor. He's coming off a 13-point game against Orlando.
Yeah, but the rebounding in that game as well was just tremendous. I mean, he dominated the backboard.
Now here's Butler after Jeremy Lin's miss, and nothing seems to work as that one misses, and he's 0 for 5. Russell from long range. Rebound Minnesota. Towns has got his 7th rebound here tonight. Teague against Lynn. Towns, a screen on Lynn. Here's Teague. Mozgov grabs the board. Nets trail by 4. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That's his first foul. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Allen's checked in for Mozgov. Damari Carroll comes in for Crabb. LeVert's checked in for Russell. And Spencer Dinwiddie subbed in for Jeremy Lin. Minnesota also making some changes. Bielitsa, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Jimmy Butler. And Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. Here's Dinwiddie. 11 points for him in that last game against Orlando. And the pass to LeVert. Kicks it to Allen. And the shot is long.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear. They're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
Towns, no luck.
Hey, I like creativity and a circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
Crawford drives in. It's blocked. Here's LeVert. Taking a look at the scoring numbers, right now he averages about 9 points a game.
And I think that's got to affect your mental game. I mean, missing open shots like that, unacceptable, and it'll probably mess with your head a little bit too.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Boy, like his intensity, Greg. He's not afraid to take it straight to the rack on the bigger defender. Right at it.
Okafor, the pass to Dinwiddie. Allen dishes to Carroll. To the middle. Here's Okafor. That one off the back iron and out.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Okafor.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Yeah, refusing to give up anything easy. Solid defense, and I like that attitude.
Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for the Nets. Timberwolves also changing it up. Gorgie Dangs checked in for Towns. And it's Patton in for Andrew Wiggins. Here's Dinwiddie. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. Here's LeVert. No good on the triple. Timberwolves leading by 4. One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be dependent on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Here's Carroll. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
That's smothering defense. Chicken and gravy defense, not giving him an inch there. That's how you guard the inside. Yes, sir.
Now here's Jones. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
And a huge fan of that 3 ball from the corner, guys.
A minute 42 left in the first. Dinwiddie passes to Hollis-Jefferson. There's the pick. Here's Dinwiddie, defended by Jones. Clock at 6. Here's LeVert. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the way up. LeVert's got his first basket.
Like the way LeVert controls himself, always under control, knows what he's looking for, takes his time, particularly when he's close to the basket.
Dinwiddie with the bucket. It's a tie ball game. Here's Jones. 56 seconds left to play in the first. Inside, looking for Jang. He gets it there. Hammers the alley-oop through.
That's lit right there. Jang times his jump perfectly. Tim puts on a show.
50 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Pass to LeVert. Here's Dinwiddie, guarded by Crawford. And the rejection by Jang. Jones from outside. Offensive rebound. He shoots again. Jang, no luck. And for Brooklyn, they're shooting 33% here in the first quarter. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
Well, fellas, that was vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one.
Well, guys, I'm glad they didn't try because I don't want anybody to get hurt out there.
Carroll with it. It's Hollis Jefferson, top of the key. Here's Dinwiddie. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. Tie game in Brooklyn. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And looking at what we've seen so far from the Nets, what do you guys think?
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
Yeah, outworking them right now, plain and simple. I mean, they've been terrific in the open floor.
LeVert and Carroll are the wingmen. Allen is out there with Hollis Jefferson. And it's Dinwiddie in at the point. That's the Nets 5 as we get into the second quarter. Now here's Carroll. His last outing, he had 8 points. A floater. Rebound by Jang. Timberwolves leading by 3. Crawford outside. Quarter number 2. We're about a minute in. Outside, Jones. Pass to Patton. One up, one down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he's on the money, that's no doubt. They set the screen. Goes up off the pick.
Yeah, he is a high riser for sure. Hollis Jefferson, a walking highlight reel when he gets to the rim. From the moment he set foot in the league, Rondé Hollis Jefferson has been an elite defender. That's his calling card. He's a terrific athlete, can guard really any position on the floor, except maybe some centers, but heck, I wouldn't even mind trying him against most of the centers for short stints. He's that good on D.
And now Jones running the floor all by himself. Patton's shot is off.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Textbook defense all around. Nice job at contesting the shot without fouling, and that's how you do it. Well done.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player. And you look at the versatility of Hollis Jefferson. He can not only guard big men, he blocks shots and rebounds like a big man, too.
Well, he actually plays bigger than he is, Kevin, because he's got a 7'2" wingspan. I mean, that allows him to do a lot against bigger people.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And, Greg, he says, "Thank you very much," and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Taj Gibson's checked in for Patton. Jimmy Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teagan for Jones. Clark, you've seen so many college and NBA games. What skill or mindset do you see as the best predictor for when a college player is going to be an NBA star?
Well, it's hard to predict stardom, but clearly things that transfer from a skill standpoint from college to the NBA, at least historically, have been the ability to rebound at a high rate. That seems to always make its way from college to the pro game. And then the proficiency of your skill set in terms of ball handling, shooting, and then I would say at the point guard position, the ability to run a team usually transfers. When you can get other people's shots and understand flow and time and score and situations, that doesn't leave you from the college to the pro game.
Shooting 2.
The first free throw is good. And for D'Angelo Russell, the former #2 overall pick in 2015 out of Ohio State. Greg, in your opinion, what makes him so special as a prospect?
I think it's all about his skill level. I mean, the league loves players who can handle, pass, and shoot. And he can do all three at an elite level. And he's not just a stationary shooter. He can hit pull-ups, a very good in-between game as well. Let's just see if he can continue his maturation process.
Now, here's Butler. He picked up 15 points in their last win against the Lakers. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Yeah, these little nuances like the pump fake, developing aspects of Wiggins' expanding game.
All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Timberwolves.
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in the first half.
Another thing they've been doing so far tonight is knocking down the jump shot.
First one falls for him. And for this new front office in Brooklyn, such a daunting task. Clark, a pretty bare cupboard as far as players and picks. How do they do it?
Well, you got to make $1 out of 15 cents, basically, and that's a stretch. Hiring a top-flight analytics team to find hidden gems, another piece of the puzzle. A big performance staff to individualize and maximize player development, but it goes back to resources being invested in good players that will develop and then folks to develop them.
Now here's Lynn. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
You know, Lynn is a really creative scorer, especially when he knifes inside the heart of the defense. He's just got nice body control and a real awareness as to what shot works best.
Russell against Butler. Gibson. But they recover it. Butler kicks to Wiggins. He dishes it to Teague. Wiggins, a screen on Lynn. Teague, the pass to Gibson. Timberwolves passing it around. Here's Butler. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Butler's got his first basket.
And Butler does a nice job using his body. I mean, especially when he's close to the basket, comfortable operating inside.
Now, here is Russell. The scoring numbers have been solid for him. He's averaging just under 14 points a game.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead. And, you know, it's obvious he's a talented scorer. I mean, that's a given. A guy you can depend on to get it done in a lot of ways.
Okafor against Gibson. Okafor kicks to Mozgov, and the layup's good off the glass. Mozgov's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, you can see the work that Mozgov has put in on display there, refining his moves inside. Nice to see.
Dishes to Wiggins. He feeds it to Gibson. Back to Wiggins. He kicks it to Towns. Shoots over Mozgov. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Russell with it. Butler covering. Russell dishes to Okafor. To the inside. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Taj Gibson picks one up.
The defender's trying to be aggressive there, but Mozgov, with too much size, draws the foul.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Mozgov.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Mozgov hits them both. And Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see two #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
And a wide-open look for Lynn. From outside, off the mark. Minnesota leading by 4. Got a piece of it. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. And let's take a look at the playmaking here. This chart with the assist totals split between the front court and the back court tonight for Brooklyn.
And their guards have been the ones to really set the tone here tonight with their ability to create shots. You talk about the big fellas. They love to play with guards who try to keep them involved offensively.
Lynn against T. Feeds it to Butler.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
And he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And Kevin, I got to tell you, he's probably fortunate to just get a flagrant 1 there. I mean, so much contact. The officials easily could have gone even harder on it.
Greg, I agree. He better be on his best behavior from now on. One more flagrant of any variety, and he's out of here. And he makes the first.
And watching Jimmy Butler, he just offers so much on offense from a scoring standpoint. You know, obviously he can get to the rack and draw the defense to him. Also really improved his ability to knock it down from beyond. Just a complete offensive player.
And so Butler nails both of them. And Greg, as you said, Butler is a threat to score from any part of the floor.
It's a bit of a dying art, though, hitting that mid-range jump shot. Butler also does a great job of getting to the line. That's increased over the course of his career. Just a well-rounded offensive player.
Towns, the pass to Gibson. Another miss. Boy, they had their chance there, but couldn't get it to go. Nets trail by 6. Lynn kicks to Crabbe. And again, it's the Nets missing. One item that stood out, their ball movement.
Things are definitely clicking, and more importantly, it makes it really hard to defend.
Now here's Wiggins. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Lakers.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter, and now you can see him getting into a rhythm.
Here is Russell. There's the dish to Crabbe. Back to Russell. Shot, high post. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
The Nets have made 6 of their 7 attempts at the line in this one.
Yeah, looking over their percentage on the season, I think they will be thrilled with the number in terms of their free throw percentage, 79.
On the free throw, no good. Clark, as an analyst, do you feel you view the game drastically different from when you were in your playing days in college and the NBA?
Yeah, you know what, Kevin, I really do, because I've benefited from the different coaches we've had a chance to visit with over the years, and that's added to my perspective. And you tend to look at things differently when you're playing. I was always a student of the game, but clearly I think I've become a lot more analytical as an analyst, if that makes any sense.
Yes. That free throw missing. And with Andrew Wiggins, you know he can be deadly from mid-range, but He's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts, and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
Now, here is Russell. Gibson with the steal. Floats it up for Wiggins. Lynn with the steal. Great D that time from T.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboard.
Greg, and that's been the key to this lead. I mean, they've really dominated the glass.
Knocked loose. Wiggins. Outside Russell. Over Butler. And the Nets miss again.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, Greg, because nothing is falling right now. But he's going to keep chipping away at it, and that's the attitude. Stay with it.
Yeah, good box out. Keeps him shielded off and then draws the over-the-back call.
Discretion would have been the better part of valor there. That rebound you just got to let go instead of picking up the foul.
Nets trail by 8. Lynn dishes to Mozgov. Now Lynn. They count on his contributions, currently providing 16.5 points a game.
Well, it looks like he's cooled down a bit after hitting those 2 in the first quarter.
Here's Butler. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Man, what strength from Butler. Refuses to be tied down or held down. Excellent concentration on the and one.
This is his 3rd free throw attempt of the game. The Nets adding their own G League affiliate, the Long Island Nets.
Yeah, and the Nets franchise originally, remember, based in Long Island. So nice to have that homecoming. And of course, with young talent development, so critical for this Nets organization. Having that minor league team in close proximity, very valuable.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn.
Yeah, you know, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they've been a bit unlucky. Some of it is poor shot selection, in a slump, no doubt. But it can be turned around. They just need to find ways to score the ball.
And let's quickly take a look at some stats for Teague. His last 10 games, he's averaging about 7 points a game, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds. And his playmaking really stands out, making his teammates better offensively with his terrific passing.
Yeah, he's outstanding at controlling the tempo. I mean, keeps the ball moving and, of course, finds the open man.
Here's Teague after D'Angelo Russell's bucket. Towns sets the pick for Butler. Wiggins outside from downtown. Oh, yes, he did. 5 up and 5 down for him so far.
Well, I tell you what, how easy does Wiggins make the game look? I mean, in the flow, excellent stroke from distance. That's fun to watch.
Lynn kicks to Crabbe. And he goes in for the dunk.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg.
Well, I like the way he capped off that drive. The one-hand hole punch.
Butler attacking. The feed to Towns. Mozgov with the block.
Timing and sneaky athleticism, Kevin, allowed Mozgov to get to that shot.
Lynn's shot is off.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Another shot. Towns, no luck.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
To the wing on the left. Russell against Butler. Mozgov sets a screen for Russell. Mozgov's shot is off.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there. If the defense offers just a little bit of resistance, he doesn't take it up quite strong enough.
And here we go. Fast break. Lynn's got it. Russell with a wide open look. And a miss there on the triple.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have. You're right. Towns, no luck. Nets trail by 10. Right wing. Lynn from long range. Jeff Teague with the rebound.
Even with every shot clanging off the rim, he seems determined to keep hoisting up these threes. It might be time to get inside of that arc.
Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line. It's going to be Towns shooting. It's on Jahlil Okafor. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're in proved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line.
And, you know, Kevin, the Brooklyn Nets last season had the worst record in the league, just 20 wins. And, you know, having traded away their top draft picks from the last 2 drafts, there aren't any quick fixes on the horizon either.
And not the prototype power forward, but he has tremendous athletic ability.
Minnesota leading by 11. Pass to Bielitsa. Kicks it to Towns. Here's Jang, and finished off by Jang.
Yeah, the vision of Towns, sees the whole floor, finds an unguarded teammate there.
There's 49 seconds left in the first half of the game. And Clark, how does a team keep the right frame of mind amidst the lean years?
Well, you have to really have a long-term horizon, but at the same time measure your progress and development. That's key there. And then you break it down quarter by quarter, possession by possession, day by day, week by week, month by month.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
To the left wing, 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock.
Oh, no, he's the last guy you want to put on the line. You can just about book the points every time he steps up there.
The Timberwolves have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And comparing to the numbers of last season, they've made a bit of improvement. So that's some positive momentum they can look to build on.
And the first one drops.
And they're really getting more points at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
And Greg, definitely that's one of the reasons they're in front right now.
That one is no good. Nets trail by 12. Here's Dinwiddie. And the pass to Hollis Jefferson. It's deflected. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, you know, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing that and come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time to check out the first half of action. Andrew Wiggins led the way in the first half. He had 16 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. He struggled in their last game, but he's not having any problems tonight. Really good first half for him. He was right on the mark. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
Kenny, how'd you think the Nets were playing?
Well, the way I see it, they're losing this game because they're being out-rebounded. You can't give up this kind of differential and expect to remain competitive. So what do? You commit more guys to the glass, guards included. You make it a priority that if you do ultimately lose this game, it's not because you didn't rebound.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. You look at Andrew Wiggins in this game, he's been everywhere.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, I liked how they took the initiative. They were really locked into what they wanted, not letting the defense dictate their shot selection.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. While we've got a moment, let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. And it's Wiggins in at the 3 slot. And here's Russell after Taj Gibson was able to get the triple. Off the screen, throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a 3-point play. That one is on Towns.
Tremendous balance by Russell. Takes on contact, finishes the play. We'll see if he can get the and one at the line.
One shot, mind the lanes.
You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They thought it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends.
Count that one, and the Timberwolves lead has been cut to just 9 on the basket from Crabbe. And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. Lynn against Teague. Gibson the screen. Butler passes to Towns. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Jeremy Lin, an attack guard if there ever was one. He wants to play downhill all the time, explodes to the rim and forces the defense to react to his drives.
And Lynn's athleticism certainly is underrated. Back, in fact, Clark, when he played with the Rockets, they said he had the quickest first step they'd ever measured.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he is deceptively athletic, and he uses that athleticism at both ends. Defensively, he can get steals and blocks too, Kevin.
The first one falls. And Clark, you look around the NBA, which big men impress you with their ability to put up points from the high post?
Well, I think Blake Griffin, as he's established his jump shot and become more proficient in making that 15 to 17 footer. Karl Anthony Towns, one of the outstanding young players in the league, extremely versatile, can shoot it out to the 3-point line, can post it, can make the mid-range shot. Aldridge is still one of the best mid-post players, but took a lot of criticism for his inability to dominate in the low post.
Right, you're right, Clark. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything. Now here's Crabb. After the miss from Karl Anthony Towns, great positioning on the putback.
Beautiful timing there by Mozgov. Converts off the miss.
Passes it to Towns. Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now.
Ooh, and this is turning into a slow start here in the second half. Seems like they left that offense in the locker room.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And Jeremy Lin, you know, I think has a great reputation. He's a confident guy who provides energy at both guard spots.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
He's off on the first. That's off as well, so he misses both. And you look at the history of the Timberwolves, and there have been some incredible players. Clark, which Timberwolf player always was your favorite to watch, and why?
Well, Kevin Garnett was fun to watch wherever he played. Clearly, his early career was in Minnesota, and his intensity, his focus, his versatility, his two-way prowess. Sam Mitchell, guy I got to know when he was in Indiana, just one of those solid veteran guys. And then Kevin Love, a double-double 20-10 guy. It was really good while he was there, too.
Now here's Butler. He's got 12. Gives him the screen. Tries again, and he lays it up and in. 14 points for Butler.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, definitely on the roll right now. Seems like everything he's throwing up is going down.
Timeout called, the Nets. Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau, joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
With the versatility of modern players and the switching that goes on in defensive schemes, Clark, are traditional NBA positions meaning less and less in the game now?
I think we're finding that more teams are playing close to positionless basketball in many ways. So positions aren't nearly as important as skill sets with your 5 players on the floor. I think that's what you look at when you field your team.
Now here's Lin. Pass to Crabb from past the arc. Yes! And a nice assist from Lin. Lin's got 3 assists tonight.
No excuse for that kind of defense. I'm positive they're upset about that.
Wiggins with it. He's guarded by Crabb. No good from Gibson. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. For 3. Out that one in, and the Timberwolves lead is cut down now to just 5 on the bucket from Crabb.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Now here's Butler. He's got 14. Mozgov with the steal. Lin against T. Lin kicks to Mozgov, and he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. And a look here at the shot chart for Towns.
Well, I think a big issue for him right now is his performance from the mid-range. Just nothing seems easy for him at the moment, and it's resulted in a lot of missed opportunities for himself and his team when he's taking that shot.
To the paint. Here's Gibson. Kicks it out to Wiggins. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. And the Nets with possession. They're on a 14-4 run. Dishes it to Okafor. And here is Mozgov. 8 points for him.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Looking to end his cold spell, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down.
This is the thing about Towns, folks. I mean, he can shoot over most anybody and doesn't seem bothered when under duress. Maintains his poise and composure and gets the shot he wants.
Now here's Lynn. And the rejection by Towns. And they're running. Floats it up for Wiggins. Hammers the alley-oop through.
Nicely executed play there. The pass on target, and Wiggins with the explosive finish.
And the replay presented by Under Armour. Unleash chaos, giving us the chance to enjoy that alley-oop all over again. Gibson against Okafor. He dishes it to Lynn. He feeds it to Russell. And stolen by Butler. One-on-one here. Here's Teague. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got 6 assists here tonight. Now, here is Russell. 9 points in the game so far. He kicks to Mozgov. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Mozgov's got 10.
You never pass for the sake of passing. You wait until the defense commits. Russell does that, finds the open man nicely.
Now here's Butler. 14 points for him. And it's Lynn with the rebound.
Whoops. Got caught in between moves there on his way to the rack.
Picked by Mozgov. Lynn dishes to Crabb. Just 5 on the clock. From the arc. Rebound Minnesota. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Teague with the ball. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. Gibson the screen. Butler kicks to Gibson. Hits the target from 18 feet. He's got 7.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Timeout called, the Nets.
And he could tell his guys starting to wear down a little bit. Call time to just let them get their legs back under them.
And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. Almost halfway through the season, let's check out the standings out west. Take a look at the Warriors, earning the first place position with a terrific record. And we've seen them perform splendidly pretty much all season long so far, and they're definitely the team to beat. And of course, the Timberwolves, right on their tail, vying to move up and take over if they get the chance.
Well, right now for the Timberwolves, they have caught the entire league off guard. This was not a position anyone thought they'd be in at this stage of the season.
And the credit belongs to them for what they did and didn't do during the offseason. I mean, they had a vision, they set it out, and they've stayed true to it.
Here's Dinwiddie. Tyus Jones picking up that last basket. Dinwiddie passes to Hollis Jefferson. A leaner. Feeds to Carroll. Nets passing it around. Carroll with a screen on Jang. Here's Dinwiddie. Pops loose off the pick and hammers it home.
And sometimes when you want something done, you got to do it yourself. That dunks the shot in the arm they need to really cut into that lead.
Well, Greg, it certainly got everybody on their bench up and off their seats and cheering.
Yeah, that could be an instant momentum shift. That certainly was a rim wrecker.
Brooklyn with the ball after the miss from Crawford. LeVert, no good on the 3. Here's Patton. He averages about 5 points a game.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right, they're happy with that shot.
Here's Dinwiddie. He has 6. Here's LeVert over Crawford. And it's LeVert missing. And Nets coach Kenny Atkinson, before taking over in Brooklyn, a key assistant in Atlanta under coach Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, and you talk about the Spurs coaching tree. There are a lot of good branches on that tree, boy. Budenholzer spent almost 2 decades in San Antonio. Now his assistant in Atlanta, Kenny Atkinson, is the head coach in Brooklyn.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Timberwolves.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
Another thing they've done tonight is work the ball into the paint for plenty of those close range points. You got to have those. Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Nets trail by 12. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Dinwiddie with the bucket.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Outside, Jones. The dish to Crawford. Releases from 15. Rebounded by the Nets. Carroll's got 3 rebounds now in this one. To the wing right side. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. As we get a break in the action, let's take a peek at the leading defenses. The Timberwolves second.
This is a team that takes pride on the defensive side of the floor. I mean, they play hard and they play together. They are a tough group to score on.
That'll be a 5-second call.
Well, a lot of tough teams in this league. Here's where Brooklyn sits right now.
And going back to their field goal percentage, great consistency and execution for them offensively. I think that's made the difference. They don't have many dry spells.
Dinwiddie passes to Hollis Jefferson. The feed to Dinwiddie. Down low. The steal. And now here comes Jones leading the break.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration, a turnover, and an easy bucket in transition.
Nets trail by 12. Dinwiddie dishes to Allen. Pass to LeVert. Here's Hollis Jefferson. No good that time, and it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Elitsa with the bucket. Here's Dinwiddie. 8 points for him. Kicks to Allen. To the right side. Here's Carroll. And he makes the bucket, through contact, and gets the whistle too.
And how about Carroll using his size there, taking it strong inside.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
76% at the stripe for him thus far this season.
Shooting 1.
And that one misses.
And really, the first 3 or 4 seasons of his career, DeMarre Carroll was kind of a fringe rotation player. I think once his three-point shooting took form in Atlanta, that's when his value as a player skyrocketed.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Allen. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention. And for Amari Carroll, able to hit the three, but it all starts for him, Greg, at the defensive end.
Yeah, he can be an intimidator on that side of the ball, and with his lockdown mentality defensively, he only needs to provide complementary scoring to be a key contributor.
Oh, and a fast break for the Nets. There's the pass to LeVert. Carroll, no one around him. Wide open shot is on the money. Carroll's got 4 points in the quarter.
And that's his role. That's where Carroll's at his best, the catch and shoot.
Crawford kicks to Zhang. Patton the pass to Zhang. Kicks it out to Crawford. The tray. Knocks down the three ball. Crawford's got his third bucket of the night.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
They set the pick. Hollis Jefferson passes to LeVert. 4 on the shot clock. Over Crawford. The offensive rebound. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Greg, he got him good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
The Nets have made a little more than half their free throws today, 7 of 12.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
That free throw, no good. He's off on the second. On the wing, Jones. No good on the triple. And so it's Minnesota looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. They've excelled in the open court. Their transition game has allowed them to build this healthy lead. We've got more in store for you right after this. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
Defensively, make sure we're all getting rebounded. No second shots. In transition, everyone talking. No open threes in transition.
And Tom Thibodeau wanting his team to pay particular attention to certain areas of their defense.
Yeah, taking care of the defensive boards, allowing no easy baskets on the fast break. These are key elements in terms of you having success.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. LeVert and Carroll are the wingmen. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Allen, and it's Dinwiddie in at the point. So that's the Nets 5. Now here's Jones, and out of bounds as the Nets gain possession.
He just threw that possession away. Hopefully he learns from that and doesn't make the same mistake again.
Nets trail by 11. Here's Dinwiddie, passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Crawford right side, pass to Patton. Here's Bielitsa. Count that bucket.
Great job getting to the right spot on the court. Beautiful passing all the way around.
The Nets shooting 39% from the floor, not their best. Here's LeVert, guarded by Crawford. And it's Carroll in the corner. 4 on the clock. Here's Dinwiddie. No good off the front iron.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Jones kicks to Crawford. Shoots the 3. Carroll with the rebound. Carroll's got rebound number 5 here tonight. And the foul called on Jamal Crawford. That's his first foul. Brooklyn making some changes. Mozgov, he's checked in for Allen. Okafor comes in for Hollis Jefferson. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Dinwiddie. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Patton. Andrew Wiggins comes in for Bjelica. Butler, he's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. Now here's Carroll. Mozgov dishes to Lin. Pass to LeVert. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. They get it back. Here's Okafor. Misses the layup. He had him with that pump fake. Timberwolves leading by 13. Teague drives in, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And really one of the quickest guards in our league. Jeff Teague just puts tremendous pressure on your defense when he's attacking the paint.
Two shots.
The first one falls. And the book on T. Greg is to make him an outside shooter. You don't want him getting to the rim.
I mean, he's a good finisher around the rim. His outside shooting, although streaky at times, not bad, but not great either.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Crabs checked in for Damari Carroll. And D'Angelo Russell subbed in for LeVert. And so Teague hits 2 free throws.
And Teague is a little reserved, but he's a natural leader, a guy who commands respect, I think, on both ends of the floor.
This is to Crab. And the powerful one-handed slam.
And cutting into the lead with the big one-hand throwdown.
That's how you get your team back into it.
That might indeed ignite a spark in this team.
And stolen by Crab. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Timberwolves leading by 13. Butler kicks to Gibson. Floats it up for Wiggins. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
For Brooklyn, they've gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. Lin kicks to Okafor. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. Count that one. And that's 11 points for D'Angelo Russell.
Boy, he's so good at creating shots in that mid-range area. D'Angelo, a difficult guy to stay close to.
From 11 feet away, and Butler gets it to go on the assist by Wiggins. 16 points for Butler.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Yeah, no let up. The killer instinct on display, trying to put this team away. I love the tenacity.
Now here's Crab over Wiggins. Rebound, Minnesota. Wiggins has got his 3rd rebound on the night. Mozgov with the steal. Oh, and a fast break for the Nets. Lin with the ball. And that's out of bounds. Brooklyn will retain possession. And so it's Brooklyn with it. So far in the fourth quarter, they've allowed just 6 points.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on a roll and knock him down.
Now here's Wiggins. He can't get that one to fall. Nice D from Russell. Guys, their comeback bid had better get started.
I don't know, guys. It's going to take a pretty big run to get back in this one.
A nice shot by Lin.
How about this run they're in the midst of, on the verge of tying it up or maybe even taking the lead?
has been an unreal turnaround, and I give a lot of credit to the defense right along with what they did on offense, because the defense actually gave them the spark they needed. And you know, guys, early in his career, Jeff Teague was more of a scoring point guard. As his career has continued, he's gotten much better at surveying the court and creating opportunities for his teammates.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
Free throw good, Teague. And you look at the style of play for the Atlanta Hawks under Coach Mike Budenholzer. Clark, it was all drive and kick. Do you think that helped Teague develop as a passer?
I think it certainly did, because when you play a system style of basketball, you kind of know where your guys are and where the best shots for them are, and it does help you be a more consistent and effective passer. And also, I think because of three-point shooting, in that system, Teague became fairly adept at creating for people to get shots.
Now here's Mozgov from 12 feet out. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Lynn's got 8 here in the quarter.
And he's shaking off that slow start, giving them a boost here in the second.
Here's Butler. Kicks it out to Wiggins. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Well, it's surprising that he clunked that one. I mean, especially since the defense was nowhere to be found.
Okafor with the screen on Wiggins. In the corner, it's Lynn. A putback. It's rebounded by Towns. Minnesota leading by 7. Teague kicks to Wiggins. Back to Teague. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Butler goes in. He goes big with the dunk right over Mozgov.
Yeah, you don't want to forget about the athleticism of Butler. Just a sick slammer of the basketball. You can't allow him to get to that launching pad.
And so it's Brooklyn with it after the basket by Minnesota. Russell kicks to Lynn. Okafor sets the pick for Lynn. A second chance effort. And Gibson sends it back.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great awareness coming up there with that block.
2 shots. Foul. Elbow. 2. Two shots.
First free throw is good.
And Butler emerging as a leader both on and off the floor. A player who plays with great passion and goes all out for his team all the time.
And so Butler nails both of them. Nets trail by 11. Now Crabbe. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't back down from anybody, Greg. Effective at getting the room he wants, and then gets his shot off in time.
Shooting 1.
That's good from Crabbe. Minnesota leading by 8. Outside Teague. He dishes it to Towns. Wiggins outside. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Towns has got his 7th assist in the game.
He is in the zone. There's a reason he keeps getting the ball. They're feeding him because they trust him to lead their team.
Now, here is Russell. Picked by Mozgov. Shot clock at 6. Puts it up from 12. Lynn's shot is off.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
Still attacking, building on this lead coming down the stretch.
Yeah, he's clicking right now, and at the right time too, Greg. I mean, playing with a bunch of confidence in this 4th quarter.
And cutting into the lead with the big one-hand throwdown.
That's how you get your team back into it.
That might indeed ignite a spark in this team.
Now here's Butler. He feeds it to Towns. Nice D from Russell.
Boy, they ran the offense well to get this look. Even though he missed it, I think they liked the shot.
Picked by Okafor. Here's Lynn. Tries again. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it?
And that one falls for Lynn. And Minnesota has possession. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Teague, the pass to Butler. A three-pointer, Wiggins, field goal number 9. He's 9 of 12 with that basket.
Tell you what, Kevin, somebody came to play and compete tonight. Wiggins has been bagging his groceries all game long.
And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Lynn against Teague. Outside Butler. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Butler's got 11 points here in just the second half. Lynn kicks to Okafor. Uncovered. Jimmy Butler comes up with the rebound. Minnesota leading by 13. Outside Teague. Towns dishes to Teague. Three-pointer, Butler. Okafor grabs the miss. Okafor's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. And it's Russell missing. Minnesota's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Crabbe. And no good that time. And Minnesota now the other way. Butler passes to Wiggins. Wiggins sets a screen for Teague. He kicks it to Butler. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Butler's got 11 here in this quarter alone.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
Nets trail by 15. Now a timeout called by Brooklyn.
And not surprising, obviously unhappy with the lack of response from his team.
Can't blame him. I mean, the effort hasn't been there. Just has not been there. Hopefully, he can get the fire lit.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Andrew Wiggins.
And Kevin, it's a no-brainer. He's controlled every aspect of this game, and it's just so fun to see a player perform at a level that's just higher than anyone else out on the floor.
And at last, he gets a little redemption. You know, it's been several games since he's been at his best. He's really been having a tough time. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Kenny Atkinson had some words for his team during the break. He was begging them to step it up. He said, we've got to make the move now, or we're going to be out of time and out of luck. Give it everything you've got out there. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Okafor. And then Okafor slams it in.
When it comes to screen and rolls, Okafor is not easy to stay with. I mean, he really slashes to the rim, rolls hard when he goes, and that determination makes him hard to defend when that happens.
Just Mr. Reliable again here today, Kevin. I mean, they need his points, and he's producing.
Lynn kicks to Okafor. And here is Crabbe. Mozgov a screen on Wiggins. 6 to shoot. To the paint. Here's Okafor. Makes it off the glass.
You know, the size of Okafor is really hard to deal with. I mean, he's skilled at putting his body near the basket, and then when he catches it in there, he makes good use of his chances.
Took him no time at all on that one. And that's now 27 points for Andrew Wiggins. 1:43 left in the fourth quarter. Teague against Len. Feeds it to Russell. Okafor with a screen on Butler. Baseline try. Great D that time from Gibson. Timberwolves leading by 15.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident looking performance for Minnesota.
When you shoot this well from three-point range, you're really hard to stop. The defense didn't rotate out fast enough to stop the hot shooters.
Exactly, Kevin. They were lethal from deep.
And so the hard work and effort paying off tonight, putting another win in the books. That'll be win number 27.
And so they win their first game against this squad. It's a 2-game season series, and they'll be going for the sweep the next time they face off.
Yeah, and Greg, when it is just a 2-game season series, the team winning game 1 has that slight mental edge going into the second meeting, knowing they've already solved their opponent one time and only have to do it one more time.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Andrew Wiggins.
And the ball movement, exquisite, incredible. I mean, dime dropping all over the place all game long.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Allen's checked in for Mozgov. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson comes in for Okafor. Tamari Carroll's checked in for Allen Crabbe. And it's LeVert in for D'Angelo Russell.
And guys, this is where their depth really comes into play. They've got such talent at that position. They'd love to have him out there, but they won't suffer much of a drop-off.
Now here's Jones. Out to the right wing. Jang dishes to Jones. And that one comes up a bit short. So it's Brooklyn now. They trail by 16. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Now here's Carroll. He's covered closely. Just 5 to shoot. The rebound by Patton. Now here's Jones. Butler with the ball. So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Jimmy, you have been outspoken about the need for maximum effort. Was it part of your plan to grab wins like the one we saw tonight?
It wasn't a part of my plan, but whatever works, works. I think we got a bunch of talented guys, and at times we forget how hard we got to play. On the road, at home, this is how we got to play basketball.
Jimmy, thanks for the time, man. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that about wraps it up. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.